Bread fed humanity for thousands of years. Today, it makes millions of people sick. That's not an accident. This is why medieval bread was way better than the bread we eat nowadays. For most of human history, bread was not a problem food. It was the main food. People depended on it to survive long days of hard labor, cold winters, and constant uncertainty. Bread built villages, fed families, and powered entire civilizations. Yet today, bread is blamed for bloating, fatigue, weight gain, blood sugar crashes, and gut problems. Many people feel sick after eating just a few slices. This did not happen because humans suddenly became weaker. It happened because bread changed. Centuries ago, bread was simple. It was made with patience and respect for the grain. Today, most bread is rushed and rebuilt with chemicals. It looks like bread, but your body knows something is off. To understand why medieval bread worked so well, we need to look at how it was grown and eaten. Let's start in the Middle Ages. In medieval Europe, bread was the main source of calories. A farmer or laborer might eat 2 to 3 pounds of bread every day. That sounds shocking now, but it worked. These people spent their days farming by hand and building structures that still stand today. Bread fueled their work. There were no mass reports of diabetes, no constant bloating or brain fog. Bread did not spike their blood sugar and leave them hungry an hour later. It kept them full and strong. So what made medieval bread different? First, the wheat itself was not the same. Medieval farmers grew what we now call heritage or ancient wheat. These were natural varieties that developed slowly over thousands of years. They adapted to local soil and weather. They were not bred for speed or profit. Modern wheat is very different. It was redesigned in the last century to grow faster and produce more grain per acre. That sounds good, but there was a trade-off. The new wheat had stronger gluten structure and more starch. It was great for factories and machines. It was not great for digestion. Ancient wheat had simpler proteins. Modern wheat has complex ones that the human gut struggles to break down. This is one reason why so many people feel bad after eating bread today. Second, medieval flour was made differently. Back then, grain was ground slowly, using stone mills powered by wind or water. The entire grain was used. The bran, the germ, and the starchy center stayed together. This meant the flour still had fiber, healthy fats, vitamins, and minerals. Modern flour is usually made with fast steel rollers. These machines strip away the bran and the germ because they shorten shelf life. What remains is mostly starch. To make it legal to sell, companies add a few synthetic vitamins back in and call it enriched. But you cannot rebuild food once you destroy it. Stone ground flour was slower to digest. It released energy over time. Roller milled flour turns into sugar very fast in the body. This leads to blood sugar spikes and crashes, which drive hunger and fatigue. Third, medieval bread took time. This might be the most important difference of all. Medieval bakers did not use commercial yeast. They used wild yeast and bacteria from the air. Dough was left to ferment for many hours, sometimes a full day or more. This slow process changed the bread completely. During fermentation, bacteria broke down hard-to-digest parts of the grain. They reduced compounds that block mineral absorption. They softened the gluten. They did part of the digestive work before the bread was even baked. Modern bread skips this step. Most factory loaves are risen and baked in just a few hours. There's no real fermentation. The dough does not have time to change. Your gut has to deal with everything on its own. This is like eating raw food instead of cooked food. The body struggles more. Another issue is how modern bread affects blood sugar. White bread today has a very high glycemic index. This means it raises blood sugar very quickly. In fact, it can spike blood sugar faster than table sugar. The body releases a lot of insulin to handle this. Then, blood sugar drops fast, and hunger returns. Medieval bread behaved differently. Because it still had fiber and was fermented slowly, it released glucose gradually. People stayed full longer. Energy was steady, and there were no sharp crashes. Now let's talk about diversity. Medieval fields were not uniform. Farmers planted many types of wheat together. Some plants were taller, some were shorter, some handled drought better, others resisted disease. This diversity protected the food supply. Modern farming prefers sameness. Huge fields are planted with one type of wheat. This makes harvesting easier, but creates fragile systems. It also removes natural variation that once supported nutrition and resilience. There's also something important about how bread fit into medieval life. People did not eat it alone. Bread was eaten with vegetables, stews, beans, and sometimes meat or cheese. Meals were slower. Portions were steady. Bread was not a snack grabbed in a rush. It was part of a full meal that supported digestion and balance. Today, bread is often eaten on its own. Toast for breakfast, a sandwich for lunch. Ultra-processed bread eaten repeatedly and quickly puts constant stress on the body. Medieval bakers were not chasing softness or volume. Their loaves were dense, dark, chewy. You had to work to eat them. That chewing alone slowed digestion and helped signal fullness. Modern bread is airy and collapses in seconds. It's easy to overeat without realizing it. Then there's the chemical issue. Medieval wheat was grown in soil enriched with manure and crop rotation. No synthetic sprays existed. Today, wheat is often treated with herbicides and pesticides. In many places, it is sprayed just before harvest to dry it out faster. This means chemical residue can end up in the grain. These chemicals can harm gut bacteria, which play a major role in digestion and immune health. Medieval bread did not come with this extra burden. Nutrition is another big difference. Ancient wheat had more protein and more protective compounds for the body. The wheat germ contained healthy fats that supported the brain and heart. Fermentation made minerals easier to absorb. When modern flour removes the germ and the bran, most of this nutrition disappears. What is left is mostly empty calories. So why did we abandon what worked? After World War II, feeding large populations cheaply became the main goal. Speed and efficiency mattered more than quality. Industrial bread was cheaper and easier to produce. It solved short-term problems, but created long-term ones. As industrial bread spread, health problems rose. Obesity increased. Blood sugar issues became common. Autoimmune conditions became more visible. The timeline lines up closely. Instead of questioning the food, the blame shifted to people. You were told you were sensitive, weak, intolerant. But reacting badly to broken food is normal. The problem is not that the bread is evil. The problem is that modern bread is not real bread. So what can you do? You do not need to live like a medieval farmer, but you can learn from their methods. Look for bread made with simple ingredients: flour, water, salt, and time. Long fermentation matters more than fancy labels. Stone ground flour helps. Sourdough is usually better than fast yeast bread. If possible, try bread made from heritage grains. Many people who cannot handle regular bread feel fine with these. Not because they're magic, but because they're closer to what humans evolved to eat. You can also reduce bread and choose other whole grains. Oats, barley, and other sources like rice can be easier on the body, especially when soaked or cooked properly. The goal is not perfection. The goal is awareness. Medieval people did not have nutrition science, but they had experience. Their methods survived because they worked. Bread was not fast. It was not soft for weeks, but it nourished people. Modern bread is designed for shelves, not stomachs. It is built for profit, not health. Your body notices the difference, even if labels do not tell you. Bread fed humanity for thousands of years. It only became a problem when we stopped respecting the process. Medieval bread was not better because it was magical. It was better because it was slower, simpler, whole, and honest. When food is treated like food, the body responds well. When it is treated like a product, the body pushes back. Bread did not fail us. We abandoned the wisdom that once made it nourishing.